Can we get a mic check?
Check, check. Can you guys hear me okay?
Hello.
Yes.
Right on. Hey.
Hello.
Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. This is so cool. We actually both, Emmy and by the way, my name is Ryan Colby.
I'm Emmy Lowe.
Right, applause for Emmy.
Applause. Yay.
It's my big brother. He's amazing.
We actually, yeah, we are not related, but we are related.
Exactly.
We got to play siblings in My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission, and I feel like you've been my sister kind of in this, just this career grind that we've had with each other.
So really, just the My Hero thing is just like confirming what we already know.
Just cherry on top. Is this anyone's first Mizucon?
Whoa!
Awesome!
Stars!
Yeah, Stars first too. You're in Texas, I'm in LA, and this was actually super last minute for both of us to come and do this, and we were really, really excited to get asked, so we're like really grateful to be here.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be like a super chill kind of just hang, Q&A, whatever you guys would like to do. So if you have any questions, we are happy to answer. They can be super general if you like, or if you have specific ones, or we can just random.
Just to start things off, if you want to know anything about us, I like cats and he likes coffee.
This is very true, actually. I was gonna correct you because I love cats. Yeah, but in all fairness, I would say you are the cat of the litter.
It's my cat.
Yeah.
Yes. If you want to stop by my table later, you guys can please show me pictures of your cats.
That's actually something that is like recommended all around. If you go to anyone's booth, come with pet photos, and then you will absolutely have a great interaction.
Yeah, it would be awesome. So, who has any questions or just wants to say anything?
There's one.
No, I'm not very interested.
So,
how did you guys start out in voice acting?
So,
you were telling me a little bit before. It's pretty epic, actually.
So basically, I was working at a cancer center as a surgeon's assistant, and it sent me to the ER because I have a problem where I take my problems home with me. And
which I think might be somewhat universal these days.
no,
especially.
a lot of people are really good at just closing it off. A lot of my coworkers they go home and they shut it off, and it's like patient's problem, something else, and I'm like, I wish I had that sometimes. But and so I went to the ER. That staying a week there was life changing for me because I had a lot of time to think all of a sudden because originally I was in music. And when I wasn't able to get my doctorate in music because I couldn't afford it, I felt lost. Because I had been practicing 8 hours a day. It was my life. I didn't really do much else except cosplay. But and then so after that they put me into a 6-week outpatient program. And during that we had all these group sessions and stuff like that. And then they were very do what makes you happy. And which is something I never really thought that much of because when I wanted to be an actor when I was younger, first of all, my parents told me that I was not pretty enough when I wanted to be a stage, on-camera actor. And then when I was older and wanted to go into college for it, they were like, we will disown you. But after that, I was like, you know what do I have to lose, right? So then I took a class in Texas, and with Sunny Straight, and I was like, yeah, here's my demo, do you think I could do this? And he was like, yeah, I could totally see you working here. And so when I went back up to New York, I told my now husband, I was like, I want to move to Texas and start voice acting. And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, yes. And he's like, okay, let me find a job, and then we'll move. 3 months later, we were living in Dallas, and I had submitted my demo and all that stuff. And so that was in 2019-ish. We moved in May 2018, but my career didn't really start until later. Because it takes some time to get into it. And then I auditioned and it went from there really, and it really was during the pandemic when I got
exploded into stardom.
I got more opportunities and stuff like that and was able to work remotely and all those amazing things. But yeah, I'd always just been interested in acting and taking acting classes even when I was in music. because my piano teacher luckily was very into the whole experience everything. Go to the museum, look at art. Take acting because then it'll help you portray the music better. Take dancing because then you can get the body language better. So I was very blessed in that regard. And then so, yeah, I was like, great, it's an excuse to take acting classes. So yeah, that's basically how my journey went.
So awesome. I love that so much because there's so much like in that story that I think other people can take away if they have this as a dream, from literally your own family being like no, to the uncertainty of life, to you being in a whole other career and feeling like there's a trajectory that you're supposed to just follow there, and the safety net falling out, and it's so admirable and so awesome. And I mean, like, if you guys don't know her work yet, you will. She's incredible.
He's
like,
too nice, he's too kind.
No, seriously, she's an absolute rock star. It's so cool. My story is not too dissimilar, but it is somewhat different. I also kind of found this career almost by accident. I grew up loving film, video games, animation, all this stuff. It was always part of my world. I was always putting on crazy characters as a kid. I was constantly another person around my family, around my school teachers. When I was in like preschool, there was a point, my mom has told me the story in hindsight because I wouldn't remember it myself, but I used to go in every day and like I was Peter Parker, I was just different characters all the time. And the teachers got to the point where they're like, does he know where he is? Like, does he know who he is? Does he know what's going on? And so, you know, when you're a little kid, you go into class, like the teachers will often greet everyone as they're walking in. And so they apparently had this conversation with my mom where they were like, we're just kind of concerned with his like imagination, his mental state, and paying attention. And she obviously didn't say anything to me because I'm a little kid. And so the next day I go into the school and they're like, and who are you today? And I'm like, I'm Ryan. So even before I knew it, I clearly had an obsession with performing and also an understanding that there was a separation there. But I grew up in New York and I was kind of surrounded by like anti-entertainment. Everyone was like a doctor or a lawyer, you know, all the kids made were really amazing athletes, and I was none of those things. I was always obsessed with dinosaurs and storytelling and all these weird things.
Dinosaurs are amazing.
They are amazing, they're so cool. And yeah, I just obsessed over all that stuff, and I had very few friends who would like really express in those ways with me. So I was often doing stuff on my own, putting on crazy performances, digging in my backyard, finding dinosaur bones, convinced I was in Jurassic Park. And by the time I was 14, I actually discovered, 12 really, I discovered guitar. I remember turning on, I was switching through the channels when I was watching Animaniacs, which was an amazing show in its own right. And I switched and there was a Green Day music video on, and it was the basket case video, and they're like in an insane asylum playing, and it's like crazy colors, and I just like, it hit me so hard where I was like, oh, that's a job. People do that. That's crazy. And for some reason, the acting part didn't connect with me that it was feasible, but music did. I was like, I can pick that up, figure that out, and maybe do something with it. So by the time I hit 14, I started my own band. I forced my friends to learn instruments, and I basically just like went from there. And I found this sense of like incredible power in creating music and being able to like have an idea, make it with your friends, and then see it through, regardless of if people like it or not. And that ended up being most of my early life through my 20s and everything. And my band was doing okay in New York, but we felt like we were ready for some growth, some movement, some different energy. And we were like, it's time to go to California. We've always all wanted to go. Let's do it. So 7 years ago, we drove out to California as a band. 5 days in the van, full on, just hauling it. And we spent a couple of years just doing the grind in LA, and we were playing some really cool shows and all this stuff, but we were kind of just hemorrhaging money as a band. We were just not making money. And the three of us were best friends, and it got to this point where we were like driving each other crazy. We were so stressed and we were overworked, and we didn't enjoy being in a band anymore. And we kind of decided, okay, it's time to break this up. And it was the first time in my life since I was 14 years old